Welcome to my review of the Naenka bone conduction headphones, if you call them headphones, earphones. I'm not quite sure the actual correct terminology. But as you can see, bone conduction non-plug-in futuristic tech Runner Pro. But the actual model is the Naenka Runner Pro. I'd like to thank the company for actually sending them to me to review. Thank you very much. I was also not paid to do this video, and all the thoughts and opinions are my own. Let's get into it. So bone conduction non-plug-in futuristic tech, as I said in the intro. Big black box. It's actually quite a lot bigger than I expected. So this is what they look like. Obviously I'll show you in a bit. Bone conduction at the top. Bluetooth 5. They use USB-C only. IPX8 waterproof, which is actually quite high. Magnetically charged. You can see on there, which I'll show you in a bit. 8 gigabyte of RAM. It's actually 8 gigabyte of storage, so you can actually use this without using it with a phone or anything. And the MP3 player is basically those two are together. Yeah, and I'm going to edit to show you what the box is like inside. So this is what you get in quite a large piece of packaging. Obviously there's the bone conduction, which I'll show you in a second. In here you get this cable. Take it out. First one I've ever seen with this kind of connection. Which is kind of cool. Make sure you don't lose that cable, because otherwise you'll be in trouble. Focuses. Yeah, kind of cool. It's obviously USB-A. User guide, which I'll run over in a second because it's kind of useful. Earplugs and bone conduction themselves. The brand, obviously that's the back, that weighs towards the front. Information there. Runner Pro. Input 5 volts, 230 milliamp hours. And everything's on this one. There's the charging LED there, and there's some buttons there. So yeah, I'm going to quickly run over to the user guide. So here's the actual user manual, not user guide, my mistake. The back of this is in Chinese, so it's in Chinese and English only. So understand the headphone. Like I said before, these do actually have a microphone on as well. So basically everything is on the right part of the unit. Indicator light, power on and off, volume. Charging must be fully charged for first use, so which is kind of common sense. How about the actual indicator light there, positive negative poles, how to wear it there. Function, how to turn it on and off. Music, so there's all the instructions. So volume is a single click, next track, previous track is a longer click. Play, pause is there. That's how you answer the actual finish for calls. As you say, a lot of this is kind of normally straightforward, but it's always good to check the guide, because some Bluetooth devices are a little bit different to others. How to pair with Bluetooth, all the information is there. So you can actually switch between Bluetooth to your phone and then the MP3 mode. So you have to double click the mode button, which is basically the power button. And songs you can download, so you just copy and paste them as you would. When you plug this into a computer, it comes up as a USB storage device. So it's like copying to a flash drive. How to use voice assistant there. Product specs. Charging time around 2 hours. Distance is around 10 meters. RAM, or well, ROM is probably the best way to describe it. 8 gigabyte of storage. IPX8 waterproof. Playtime, it is 6 hours, and I got around 6 hours in my testing. The actual protocols are there. Music support, so it actually supports FLAC, which is actually quite surprising, which is quite good. Bluetooth 5, the battery there, input there, and the version there. And yeah, now on to the actual conclusion. The review, my mistake, onto the review, then the conclusion. So here's my thoughts and opinions / review of the actual Naenka bone conduction headphone. I'll call it headphone because it technically goes on your head, not like an earphone which is in your ears. So very straightforward. It's all black appearance. This goes around the back of your head. Obviously that goes forward. So this one will be around your left ear and in front of the actual ear canal. That goes in front of your ear. Obviously this one here with the controls is the right one. So battery life, like I said before, was about 6 hours. Obviously that depends on the volume that you use. And to charge them, it's around 2 hours max. You'll see the lights flash when it's charging. I mean, it's fully charged there. Connection, again, it says 10 meters. That's what I found as well. It uses Bluetooth 5, but it uses the SBC codec, which is the lowest codec. But for its job, it works fine for its intended use. I think if even these at aptX, I don't think would really matter for what you'd actually use them for. Pairing with my phone works perfectly fine, like any other Bluetooth device you've ever tried. Comes up in the actual settings, Naenka Runner Pro, and then you just pair as usual. So it's you don't have to put any codes or nothing. It's just normal kind of pairing. They do have a microphone, which is here on the bottom, and I found it calls as okay. There's nothing amazing. You can get by with them. There wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It was acceptable kind of call quality is the best way to describe it. And obviously, it's further you get away from your ear, more of a problem. You want it closer to your mouth. So your mouth is obviously like here. So it's got quite a distance, from here to around your mouth. But it was okay. It wasn't amazing, but it wasn't bad. As you say, it's usable. High part of these is water resistant, so it's IPX8, I think, which is very high. So you can use these while having a shower or something like that, which is quite amazing. That's up to you if you want to do that. Personally, I would err away from that, but I can do that, which is quite good. So IPX8, so quite useful. Going to storage, so it says 8GB of storage. Well, 8GB of RAM, but it's technically a ROM. So like I've shown you in the unboxing, you just connect it there, which is magnetic, plug it into a computer or a laptop, and it comes up as a USB storage device, so like a flash drive. Then you can just copy and paste music there. Like I've shown you in the guide, it supports MP3 and FLAC, which is more than you'll need really, so I can't really say much about that. Onto that control, like the actual buttons. So like in the guide, these do multiple things, like you got plus and minus, which is next track, previous track, volume up and down, things like that. That's the power button / on and off / mode button. Like it shows you everything in the guide what they do, which is there. Sometimes, unless it was just my luck, to go between modes, I couldn't get it right sometimes, but that could just be me and user error. But obviously you do it through that. Also bear in mind, if you use this as like the MP3 player kind of mode, it only has basic functionality. You can't do shuffle or playlists or nothing like that. It's fine if you load on a folder of music or an album and then just play through it or skip the odd track. So that's what the buttons are. I say very useful. That sits under your, so if that's how you look and your head's facing that way, it's all on the right part of it. So modes I've already described. So you can do Bluetooth, you can use a voice assistant, and you can use just a normal Bluetooth, technically music player or media player. But it's good that you don't even have to have this connected to anything, and you can actually play music through it, which is quite good. So sound quality. Now you have to bear in mind these are not like IMs or headphones, which they do sound better. The purpose of these is where you need full awareness of your surroundings. So people use these for working, so where they can actually talk to someone in front of them and have a call with someone else elsewhere. A lot of people use these for cycling because, again, you got full awareness of your surroundings, plus you can hear or talk to someone through them. For music reproduction, they actually sounded better than the ones I reviewed a few months ago. The ones I had from Amazon that was really cheap. These do sound a lot better as well. Also, you have to bear in mind that they will never sound as good as IEMs. They sound okay for music, but that's not the point. But for virtual speech, so where people talk, they actually sounded okay. They sounded quite clear, and that's its job really. But obviously bear in mind these are not as good as a pair of headphones or IEMs or earbuds. That's not the intended kind of design and market for them. They're designed for people who need to speak to people and have a full awareness of their surroundings, so bear that in mind. And finally on to fitment. Now, as you can see, you can't adjust these at all. It all depends on people's heads, so that's all you can do. That's the only adjustment, side to side. Now, I actually have a smaller head, and I typically add less look. Basically, I borrowed these to a friend of mine who has a larger head, and his fit was better than mine. So I guess it's kind of the clamp force, because they don't really adjust. So they can adjust a bit like that, but the main adjustment is width. So if you have a wider head, the contact patch will be a bit different. So when there's a smaller head, if you have a large head, it'll be a different fit. But a friend of mine who had a larger, wider head had a better experience than me, as in just how it fits on the head. It's just a bit more secure. The quality was kind of the same. It's just because his clamp was better, for example. It was just a little bit better for a larger head, so bear in mind. But yeah, I think that's it. Now on to my conclusion. Now my conclusion of my review for the actual Naenka Runner Pro. Obviously, this is kind of very different to normal earphones and headphones, earbuds and everything like that. Obviously, where it sits, obviously in front of your ear, obviously onto the bones in front of your ear, so it's a different fit. For intended use case, they worked as intended. They're not really for music playback. They are more of a communication tool where you have to hear your surroundings. But for my use case, they seem to work okay, but a bit better for my friend because he has a wider head, so bear that in mind. But if you want to communicate with people and you need a full awareness of your surroundings, these are the ones for you. But for natural music reproduction, if you do like your music, there is better options. You probably want earbuds, IEMs, headphones, something like that is more of a pick. But obviously they can play music back. It sounds okay. But yeah, these are not the intended design, but I do like that they don't even need Bluetooth to a device because they actually have onboard storage, so that actually would be good for podcasts and things like that. And yeah, I think for intended use, they actually work quite well. Just bear in mind if you're wanting these just for music, there are better options. And yeah, thank you very much for watching and take care.